Hey, hey, hey. So tonight, if you feel like your January budget has already failed or you're already frustrated with it, if you already quit it, this live is for you. We're going to talk about why most January budgets fail and what we can do to fix that. Hey, welcome to Talk Tuesday. If you've been here before, welcome back. If it's your first time, Talk Tuesday is our weekly segment where we go over tips to help you enhance your finances. I'm Coach D, your financial coach, and I want to help you to reach and exceed your financial goals while still enjoying life in the process. So, as I stated, tonight's live is why January budgets fail and what to do instead. So, tonight we're not going to talk about exactly how to fix your January budget, but we're going to try to understand why this keeps happening, why every January you're trying the budget and you're not able to stick to it, something's going wrong. So, that's what we're going to talk about today. So, what is it really? Why do January budgets usually fail? They usually fail because they're built off of pressure. It's just it's a new year. This is my goal. I'm finally going to do it. I'm gonna get it right, and we kind of do it really quickly. Most times we set our New Year's resolutions or our New Year's goals very close to the new year, so you don't give yourself much time to prepare for it, and you just set it like this is it. I'm on it. So you're creating it out of motivation, which is not a bad thing because we want to be motivated so we can push ourselves and keep going. But if we don't do it the right way, then that's usually how it falls apart. And that's usually what happens. So it's not from, a lack of discipline. It's really the way you built it, the way you did your budget. So if it's something you don't stick to all year long or something you don't regularly do, trying to do it very quickly and just deciding it like that, most times it won't work all the time. So it could be because hey, thank you for tuning in. Your January budget could be, could have failed already because you didn't, build it with reviewing your past expenses. Did you review it? Or did you sit down and just write, okay, this is my income, this is my expenses, this and this? Because you have to keep in mind a lot of bills are increasing, a lot of things are changing, a lot of numbers are changing. So if you didn't take time to actually review your past numbers, your past bills, not only your bills, your spending habits, what you're doing. You have to create it based on your real habits. Think about your groceries. Don't forget your groceries. That's something that most times we forget in our budget because we're not thinking about that. We're thinking about all of our bills. We're not thinking about the groceries. We're not thinking about gas. We're not thinking about if we eat out, if we're buying lunch. We're not thinking about, if we go get our nails done, or we're not thinking about those things. We're most times when we create that budget, we're only thinking about our bills. We're not thinking about real life. So we have to create our budget so that it includes those things because we don't want it to be too strict. We want it to be realistic because if it's too strict, we're definitely not sticking to it because it's hard. You want to, that's just like, I always compare, but it's just like with the diet. If you say, oh, you know what? I'm not drinking any more soda, I'm done. Well, if you're someone who drinks soda often, it's hard to just stop it. You have to adjust. You have to, take steps to, all right, I'm going to do 6 days of soda or 5 days of soda or 4 days. You have to get yourself there, you know, to be able to just stop it hard. You can't just say, oh, I'm done. Of course, unless it's something, medically is going on and you can do what you need to do for it. But back to the budget, you want to, don't be too strict. And you want to create the budget so you're able to still do the things that you love and enjoy, as I said in the intro, because that will help you to stick to it. That will help you to stay with it. Why the budgets usually fall apart in a couple weeks, 2, 3 weeks in the new year because something unexpected happened, something that wasn't included in your budget. For instance, I don't know, you guys can throw in the comments some unexpected things that happen that throw your budget off, and then I'll just repeat them when I see them pop up. But things happen. So it could be something with your vehicle. It could be something with your child. It could be different things. So, you just have to make sure that your real life matches your budget. That will help you to stay on track with it. That will help you to move forward with it and be able to keep going so that it doesn't fall apart, before the month is over. And that's a lot of times what happens in January. So let's go. I'm going to go over a couple different scenarios that I'll keep peeking at the comments, but you guys haven't wrote anything yet. But even if you don't, I'll keep going. Um, you know, Scenarios that happen that, make our budgets fall apart. So, like I said, let's see, car repairs needed in January. Yes, and I know you're speaking from truly needing a repair. Yeah, things happen, and then with a repair like that, it's something you didn't plan for. Number one, number two, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. I don't want to throw your numbers out there, but but it's something that's quite expensive that you weren't planning for. That can most definitely throw your budget off because you didn't plan for that. So that's another part of having an emergency fund. But we're not talking about that today. We are talking about our budgets failing. So your budget will fail. A reason for that is perfect. You built the perfect budget, but you didn't follow it. Most budgets, the number one reason why budgets don't work is people create them and they never look at them. They never take a peek at them and see, all right, so I said I'm only going to spend this much on eating out. Or I said I'm only going to spend this much on putting into my vacation fund. Or I'm only going to spend this much of just whatever it might be. Like, let's say for your nails, you say you're going to put in, I don't know, $60 and you spend 80 and you get it done twice a month. $40. That $40 could be what you needed to pay something else that just spirals everything out of control. But that's why it's important for us to look at it. So building that perfect budget, but never looking at it, so you can't follow it. We just talked about the unexpected expense. That's another one that throws things off. It could come from an irregular expense, something that you don't pay every month, something that you're paying bi-monthly, something that you're paying quarterly, something that you're paying yearly. Yearly is a big one. Yearly is a big one because if you don't think about it, you're not paying attention. I wish I would have my planner together, but there's a page in the planners that had towards the front, which has a calendar for the whole year. It has on there, I wrote in there different financial important dates, like your for your taxes, credit for your different things. There's a bunch of different dates, but the plan was for you to use that page in your book to write in annual expenses, to write in things that you might need to remember, or to write in a graduation or a party, or just things you need to keep in your mind to know which month you should be planning for these things, because sometimes we don't think about them until they're like right here, until those things are right there. So that's important to use that. Another thing that usually throws it off is, I spoke about the groceries, unexpected or underestimating your food expenses. So when you go to the grocery store, most things cost more. And most things cost more and they give you less. So not only does it cost more, now you have to buy it too. So you have enough to do what you normally, what you normally cook with. So we have to be mindful of that. That can throw you off because you are spending more. That page is very helpful. Wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. And that was the point of that page, just to see the whole year. So you can put different expenses that happen. Food definitely more expensive. Food is that's more expensive. So we need to be aware of that. We need to plan for that. That's something that's really, really important to be putting in our budget. Adding an extra money for our groceries. Not only groceries, going out to eat. Because sometimes groceries are too expensive and we're like, well, let's just go out and get something to eat. But if you don't pay attention, going out to eat does add up also. And going out to eat, what does that do? That's food for one meal. That's just for that time you go out to eat. Unless you get like a lot, which again, that's going to be more expensive, which will throw off your budget possibly if you don't account for going out to eat and how much it costs when you go out or how often you go out to eat. So that's why it's important to really sit down and write your numbers out. Avoiding your budget after you mess up, after you fall off the wagon with it. So once you have an issue, once something doesn't go as planned, and you actually are checking your budget and you see that something, I was supposed to pay this, but I forgot to pay this. So now I have to pay it this check. I don't have enough money for this check. That's going to throw everything off. And then you're just like, what the heck, I'm done with it. So that could be how your budget falls off track because you're done with it. You quit it. You already see something's wrong, but instead of trying to figure out a plan on how to stick to it, you're done with it. Like, look, it didn't work. I'll try again next month. So then we get in our head, I'm going to start again next month. And that's a really, really big one. We always say, oh, I'll start over next month. Well, we keep starting over next month. And when is it going to happen? Fixing it the first time so we can get back on track and stay on pace is what we need to do. Well, we will say, it's done. It's I already messed it up. I'll start next month. That's a big one. That can definitely mess us up. I'm glad I got my planner. It's very helpful, and I found some pages that I didn't see before. Yes, you know what? We actually added some extra pages this year. We added a couple things. We had added the debt to income. We added. We added. I'm not going to get into that, but we added a lot of pages. So I'm glad to see number one that you used it. Number two that you used it last year, so you can see the difference in what was added. Love it, love it, love it. So I want you to ask yourself with your budget, if you've already given up on it or it's already feeling a little frustrating, you're already feeling a little tense, a little stuck with it, ask yourself, do I actually understand my money? Do I actually understand what's happening with it? What's coming, what's going, what I'm doing? Am I looking at stuff? Is there a pattern with my finances? Is there something that I'm not accounting for, but it always happens? This is something we need to add into our budget. And I thought I missed them. No, you didn't miss them. Oh, and then, ask yourself, am I building my budget for real life? This is big. It's really big. Am I building it for what I'm doing, my life? If I'm someone who goes out, going out's going in my budget. If I'm someone who eats out, eating out's going in my budget. If I'm buying lunch at work a couple times a week, that's going in my budget. Because guess what? I don't want to just stop it. I just want to account for it so things can work out for my budget, so my budget can be successful. So you're all in all, if your January budget, isn't working out, it's not a sign to just quit. Just use that as feedback. It's telling you something. What is it telling me, with my budget not working out, my budget failing? It's saying I need to just really get clear on what I have going on with my finances so I can actually control things. Like I just said, knowing what's going on, I'm clear on it. I know when I go out to eat, I'm spending $78 or I'm spending $80 or I'm spending $100 because I'm tipping. Don't leave out the tip. Think about the whole picture. That's what I mean by being clear. Actually look at your transactions. So think about those things. Use it as feedback, not as like, oh man, I messed it up. No, use it. It didn't work out, but this is what I learned from it. It didn't work because of this. So, before you start with your budget, understand your money. Work on that. Okay. So if you're not sure where to start, if you haven't created a budget or where to restart, if you had a budget and it's not quite working out, then I invite you to work with something I created, which is free, a 5-minute financial health check. It's 3 pages, digital download, and it will help you to see what you have going on. If you haven't heard it before, I'll let you know. Page 1, I have different slots for you to enter your numbers in. Page 2, I have formulas for you to use the numbers that you entered on page 1. Page 3, you'll use your answers to see where you stand. I'll let you know what to work on. This is good. Or because this is good to work on this. This is not so good. So we can fix this by doing this. So I can put a little QR code up on the screen. If not, you can go to my website, enhancingyourfinances.com, and right at the top of the page, the first button. So, and also there's a QR code right on the top of the screen. You can use that to download it and get started. Depending on where you're watching it, there could be a link above or below the video with the digital download, so that's what I have. I hope this was helpful. And I thought this was a good topic because we are still in January, and a lot of times in January, our budgets fail. Something happens, something falls off, and we're like, we're done. I'll start in February, or I'll start in March, or the big one, I'll wait until I get my taxes back. Don't do it. I'm talking to you. Don't do it. Okay? Get on track now. Get it squared away, so that when you do get your taxes, you can do other things instead of, catching up on stuff. Because if you get it straight now, get back on track, when you get your taxes, you can do other things. Maybe you could pay off that vacation you want to go on. Maybe it could be the down payment on that car you wanted to get. Maybe it could be a down payment on a home. Maybe it could be new furniture, whatever it is you want to do. You can use that money, or it could be investing, put it in savings, a lot of different things. So when you get your income tax, not to tell you what to do, because you do whatever it is you want to do with it, but use that money to do something good with it. And you can use, the current money, not paying for something that happened in the past. Use your taxes to move forward, not to fix the past, because then when you get your taxes, now you've taken care of everything in the past, and now you feel like, oh gosh, I didn't get to do anything with my taxes. I had to pay this old bill, pay this. And you don't want to feel like that, because then that leads to a rough rest of the year. It's not a good feeling, because most people, when they get their taxes back, they're excited. I got back $1,000, or I got back $500, whatever you got back. Do something positive with it. What's your opinion on putting your money in CDs? Well, that's what I've been doing with my credit union. CDs are good. CDs are good. So my opinion on that is it depends on if you need the money, how soon you might need it. Is it money you need to hold on to because when you put it in there, it's stuck in there for quite some time, for whatever time limit you set. So if you have a mercy fund, you're okay. I just don't recommend putting in there if it's something that you might have to pull out, and then you can't pull it out, or you'll get a penalty, which loses your money. So if it's money that you're okay with not touching, I think that's a good idea, because you get good interest and you're able to build that money up. That's a great question. I'm going to wait and see if there's any more questions. Thank you for that question. I know there's a little delay, so I was hanging on to see if there was another question. But if not, we're here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube, for our Talk Tuesday segment, where we talk about tips to help you enhance your finances. I thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week, same place, same time. Have a great week. Stay safe. If you're on the East Coast like me, be careful with snow, ice, all the things. All right? So have a good evening.